God bless you guys. This is Sean here from Faith Brings Change. This is going to be part two of the video that I, made previously about the whole two Exoduses kind of video. So if you haven't watched it, go ahead and just don't watch this. Just watch that first part and then go there because you would miss all the main stuff I talked about because I'm kind of finishing up. But I was left off in the explanation of this whole Elijah call and just trying to show you guys where this stuff came from. A guy I was saying basically came to me and was talking about looking for Elijah stuff, and I just told him he basically could be this person. You know, I have this attitude in the church that you go be the superhero, you go lead the people to Christ, and I still feel that way. You know, I had this evangelistic heart that we're all called to do the same job, but God doesn't make anybody special. And I just basically told him that. And have you ever considered you could be like that? And he acted like he thought about it. And later on, he went to confessing that. And I had no problem if he wanted to confess, you know, he's Elijah. I didn't really care about that. I thought, okay, good. If that'll make him evangelize people, you know, then fine, good for him. That'll make him evangelize people now more. But he kept saying, I'm just a big fat sinner. I'm a big fat sinner. And I was explaining how Elijah's confession, that's not whoever the third Elijah is, or if a person's going to say they're Elijah, they can't have that confession, you know. I didn't have a problem him even saying he was that. I just wanted to get him in the spirit, get him going of evangelizing, you know, and really trying to win people's souls and really preaching holiness and the hard message of repentance. But he's one of those believers that didn't want to preach hard repentance to people because he didn't really believe in it himself. And he said, you know, we're just big fat sinners. And then I was just so feeling injustice. It's like I can't do anything to motivate these people to get to preaching the gospel and holiness and against sin and everything. And I said, you know, they could be Elijah. Any of them could be that. And he said, Sean, you know, what are you doing? Look what you're doing. You're writing these books. Look what you're doing. Why don't you be this person? I was like, really? Because I didn't really think I was like anybody. And then later on, you know, he ended up literally, you know, I saw Jesus, you know, looking at him, and he literally told me I was Elijah. He said, you're Elijah. You know, he whispered that to me. And it didn't come like I would have thought in some kind of whirlwind or way. He whispered it, you know. And I later looked, and it said his voice, he's in the still small, you know, he speaks in a still small voice, you know. It talked about Elijah thought he was in the earthquake. He thought he was in this, thought he was in that, but he heard him in a still small voice, you know. He was in the whisper, in the wind, basically, in a way, you know, you could say. But basically, you know, after he told me you can be this person, and when I would go and do my chores, I wouldn't even be thinking about it. He'd remind me. He'd say, go look at that. Remember that video you heard of Elijah's voice in the whirlwind? And I was like, wait, I think I remember something about that. Somebody there was a video on TV in Australia or somewhere, and there was a fire, and it was like a whirlwind, and they literally, some believer caught it and they put it on there and they said, could this be the voice of Elijah? And he said, I'm here. He whispered, I'm here. And, you know, it says in the Bible, go tell your servant Elijah's here, you know, because they asked him, are you here or something? And it was a whisper of him. And it clearly wasn't literally, it was either an angel or Jesus Christ using the voice of Elijah, the man that would come on the scene. And I decided to look at it, and I was blown away. I was like, that's my voice. You know, I did the comparison, and it's my exact voice. And it startled me because I'd heard it a while back and never really paid attention to it. And I thought, this guy's Elijah. Who are we? Who am I? Who are you? Chopped liver, you know? And then I learned that God doesn't have, you know, he doesn't have favorites. And this whole mission has nothing to do with me. It's getting everybody up to the level, you know, getting everybody up to the same level that they can, you know, they're supposed to be the evangelist. That was my heart in the beginning. Don't wait for Christ to go save people. You be Jesus in their life. You tell them about Christ, you know, and try to save them. Be the superhero for once. Don't tell them what your natural flesh would tell them. Tell them to be perfect and go and sin no more. and they can do all things. Be the best example you can be. Strive for complete holiness, and you know, and have, be the best, evangelize people, and really have that heart, and you got to be willing to tell them the hard stuff. And I didn't understand why I couldn't get anybody going. And so I was so happy that I got this guy going, at least on that. But when he heard that I declared what Christ told me, I guess, he literally met me and told me face to face I was Elijah. This guy started to get jealous and attack me, I guess, because of what I told him. And maybe I'm threatening him being Elijah. But it wasn't even about that. I was trying to just boost him. I wasn't trying to look for a title myself, but Christ led me that way on his own, because he knew I was willing to do the works, I got prophecies where God said, they said, you do works, you're a person who works for the Lord. And it's true. I would spend hours and hours back when I was trying to do my movie to get people saved and stuff, and he told me I'm going to do that movie in heaven, ended up, but I would work day to night, just working on this stuff, working on it, just to get people saved. I didn't have any personal life because of that. I don't have any personal life because of the books I'm writing. I just working for that. And so he said, through prophets, I didn't tell them about me, and they'd give me words that I'd receive, that you're a worker, you're somebody who really works. And so he gave me this job because of the works, basically, to try to get these books written for people and get the knowledge, because everybody has a chance to come up to the mountain of the Lord and receive wisdom and knowledge. But he said there aren't many people in his body that are coming. There aren't many people who know how to come or are willing to do the steps to take to come. Some people, they're very, they have a good heart with the Lord, and they're very about holiness and everything. But a lot of times, when you have families or you have children or things to look at, you just can't be completely the way, like Paul said. He said, I'd rather you be as me, but it's not everybody can receive the same, basically. So you who can be single, and you who are married, and it's more power to both of you. But for me, I have this charge of being single, so I have a little more time and everything, and to just focus on the Lord and focus on getting these books done and everything. And so, because of I was willing to do that, the guy got mad at me, but, he wouldn't even position himself in the slightest to be that Elijah or that person. And he could still be an Elijah or a person, to do that. But a lot of times there's a lot of people claiming titles in the church. They want the title. They don't want to do the work of an evangelist. They want the title of prophet or person or whatever. They don't want to do the work. And I never sought out those things. I just was trying to speak into a person something of whatever, to tell them you go out there and be this person. And the Lord, on his own, he talked to me about this, and that's why he gave me this title. And I'm not somebody that you would think would be chosen for this role, but that's the point of it. It can be anybody, guys. That's the point of you. You may not think you're anything big, guys, but God, he chooses the things that are lowly esteemed among men, the things that don't really look strong. It says he doesn't have very wise, and basically, the disciples were fishermen. And it's because a lot of us, a lot of times when we have wisdom, or we could have knowledge, or we could have ability to learn, we get bullied because Satan fears, like, a call of God on our life, basically. And we'll have dark things happen to us. Whatever it is, your dark childhood, whatever it is, abuse, or your family, or whatever it is, it's because there's a light on you. And so you ended up getting beat into something maybe that is more humble than a lot of people. Maybe if you didn't have that childhood, you would talk right, you would have the great look and all that, but God doesn't choose that. A lot of times when we're servants of the Lord and we're called to shine, we're going to go through a lot of stuff, because Satan is he sees that and he's afraid of that. He doesn't want to lose souls, and so he's going to attack you. And when everybody's born, they have a star shining, and their star the brighter that shines, the brighter they're called to shine. And, you know, they saw Jesus' star in the east, Herod, and they tried to destroy him, you know. And so they'll see your star, and if it's shining really brightly, they try to put it out. And there's things that happen in your childhood and all that. But God knows how to turn that around for good. That's all about this whole Elijah movement, is about how God is going to restore all things. He's going to take those things that are dark and turn them into light. He's going to take that cross, which is a symbol of death, and use it for life. He's going to take that serpent on the pole, which was a symbol of lies, and going to use it to bring truth and healing, you know, like Moses lifted it up. He's going to take, you know, this thing like the TV and representing slavery and bondage. He's also going to use those kind of arts to pull people out of bondage. And so he's all about that, guys. He's going to restore all things. But I love you guys. I'm praying for you. I hope this edified you. You can let me know in the comment section. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to get to more, like, people. You know, I have sometimes, like a couple personal friends that came on here that I met through this channel, and I try to get to, you know, their comments and everything. I've just been writing, but I'm going to get to those things. But I love you guys. I am praying for you. Take care of yourselves, guys. Until next time, shalom.